Hey, cousin, it's your favorite cousin with all them kids.
The caption said a day in the life of a 26-year-old mom or 25-year-old mom with 6 kids.
And y'all cousin be MIA. My bad. I play too much. I guess she was tired of them, baby. She said, baby, mom, cut the camera. Just cut the camera. My bad, I had to pause because, anyways, because y'all cousin right here while I'm doing the voiceover. So, they ain't gonna stop saying, well, I said I was gonna do another voiceover with they ass in my face, but here we go again. But yeah, loading up the dishwasher this morning because I was not gonna wash them dishes. I ain't cleaned up last night, but I had to do the shit when I got up this morning. So that's why they had a bowl of cereal, because I wasn't gonna do all that and I already had cleaned up my damn kitchen. And baby girl wanted oatmeal. I would not sit her at the table so she can have some cereal and have cereal everywhere and have me bending and breaking my back to wipe with the cereal. No ma'am. Then we had went for a little ride or whatever before dad went to work. Little mama baby, yeah, tan up the lyrics. Then as y'all can see, we came back home, took a nap. Dad went out that door. And after that, I had woke back up and was hungry. And we had a little egg boil. And that shit was top motherfucking tier. Do you hear me? That shit was good as fuck. My first time ever making an egg boil. And that shit was good. I think this is going to be my regular snack. But we done sat and chilled, gave our baths, and now it's back to doing what the fuck I do best. Going in that kitchen. I made me a little fruit bowl before I had started cooking. Because I don't know why, but I wanted some fruit. And I made the fuck out that fruit bowl. Tonight on the menu was beef tips and rice with mashed potatoes, and we had green beans and cornbread. And that shit was the motherfucking bomb. Yes, I cut my beef tips up because in the pack they come so big. Who the fuck wants a big ass beef tips? Not I. And I am a mama of six, so don't be saying nothing about me cussing a lot. My bad, y'all. That's just a habit, and that's just how I talk. But yeah. And if you ain't cooking your beef tips a little bit before you put that chicken broth in there, baby, what are you doing? Yeah, I had to go to the store because I had forgot to give me some items from the store. But yeah, I love them car rides, baby. And I came back and dog something. And then I ate the fuck out that fruit bowl. Good night, cuz.
So here's the thing, right? Here's what I really want to just kind of flag here. And also, I'll even give a little more context because if you read the description, it says, y'all see chaos. I see my family. Y'all see stress. I see love. It's not easy, but I never said it had to be. I'm raising 6 humans while some of y'all raise opinions. Follow and support a real mom of 6. Yeah, I got opinions. I do. I'm not going to lie. I do have some opinions because she said, y'all see chaos. And that's what I saw. That was chaotic that whole day. Maybe when they would sleep on the couch, it was finally calm. But it was a lot going on. And like she said, it's not easy. And it didn't look easy. But do you notice the fact that like she walked us through her whole day? And that day did not include going to work. So, I mean, y'all, it seems like y'all got everything you need. Seems like got gas in your car, everything. So, who's paying for this is ultimately what I want to know. Because I'm seeing a lot of people deciding that they want to have all these kids and be single. But then you have to get your whole life paid for. And I would think that that's probably what's going on. I would think that that's probably what's going on, along with child support as well, but definitely government assistance. And so you just going to keep living like this forever, where you don't work and you just get money flowing from outside sources? Because that was a choice. You made a chaotic choice. And it really seems like, aside from just the actually, not administrative, but the domestic task of taking care of kids, it's like you don't have to be necessarily responsible for the provision of kids, which is what the man would be for. but a lot of people choosing to be single. And I would also argue this, right? Because she said y'all see chaos. I would argue that a man would bring order as well. That is what men are good for. We would bring order to all that chaos because there was a lot going on in that house. But we'll leave it there. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype.
Some of y'all are gonna cancel me after this video, but I don't really care. It needs to be said. Stop coming on here.
She said they're gonna cancel her. Her caption says, "We are tired of the homeless mother begging content." Oh, all right. Hey, you listen, man. It has to be said. I'm not mad at it.
With kids and a man and asking us to help y'all. Stop coming on here telling us that you're homeless with kids or you about to get evicted with kids and you still have a man. You have an active man in your life. Stop it. Watch this video.
Hey everyone, so I am posting super late today. Rough morning. I just found out I don't have any more stamps. Everybody, so I am on here not to be judged but to get help in my situation. I have not been feeling well the last few weeks due to me being pregnant. I've been very sick. I'm just now trying to get on my feet or whatever, but right now I am trying to prevent being able to say get evicted. I am behind on my rent. I have 2 other children and I'm just really trying to do the best that I can. We don't need a lot of evil people, okay? We really don't. I'm on here literally just to get help. If you don't like it, you could go somewhere else, but be married, live with my man, so I don't have to have all this on myself. But right now, the situation is the situation. So yeah, I'm still young. I have the rest of my life ahead of me. And yeah, let's support your girl instead of hating, okay? At the end of the day, my kid's father, you don't know what plans, you don't know his situation, or maybe why he's not able to help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't really know too much.
She says she's 11 months pregnant and
11.
she plans on getting married and living with her man. So she has a man.
Oh, okay. Okay. She made the correction in her description. Her description says I meant 11 weeks pregnant.
She's 11 months pregnant. Why are you coming on here asking us for money? Why? Why are you 11 months pregnant not having any money? Why is the man not helping you while you're 11 months pregnant carrying his child? You're not married to him. Is he in jail? Where is this man? You're going through eviction with your other kids and you're 11 months pregnant, struggling. Do you feel like when you wind up giving birth to the baby, you're going to get a lot of money? Because you're struggling now, later you're going to have some money, some mysterious money. Like, what's the outcome for this? Like, I'll be so honest with you. I don't think anybody's hating on you with this situation. This situation is a situation that people don't want. Nobody wants to be pregnant and going through eviction with a man in your life. So I don't think the term is hating. I think we're confused. We're confused. Like, are you guys confused? Because I'm confused. She said we don't know her situation and we don't know why he's unable to help. Baby, I don't give a damn why he's unable to help. We don't care about that. We want to know, where is he? We want to understand, why haven't you gave yourself a schmabortion yet?
Whoa.
11 weeks is less than 3 months. You can get rid of that.
All right. She's kind of being a little bit personal with her thing, right? Like I try to stick to just what we're looking at. She's going deep into the person's background and stuff like that, and I don't want to do that. But here's what I will say though, because this is the one thing that I do always mention, especially when you come on here, because I don't know if y'all saw the captions when she was showing the girls clips, but she was asking for money and asking for help before she gets evicted. So my thing is, I do agree that you need to be a little bit more transparent when you're coming on here asking for money, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to be super transparent about. Well, I really think you shouldn't be on here begging for money to begin with. So let's just start there and hold that for a second. You shouldn't be coming on here begging for money to begin with, because what would you have done before you had TikTok? And y'all are ruining TikTok. But I want you to be transparent about what you're doing to try to turn your situation around. Why this money will be able to help you to where you will never be able to come on here again. Ultimately, I want to know that you're trying and that you're actually trying to put a plan in place, because money doesn't just fall from the sky every day. And when you all come on here begging for money, that's basically making money fall from the sky. Money come out of thin air and it's just hitting your bank account. And it's like, well, what is your plan with it? Because a lot of times when we see people online begging for money, they come on one day, they raise a bunch of money, and then you see them back a week later. So you need to have a plan. Tell me how this is going to make it to where you don't have to come back on here again. Otherwise, are we enabling the problem? Because I want to see that you're putting together a plan for you to ultimately fix the problem. And if you're not doing that, then I don't want any involvement with it.
So y'all, I am up.
Her caption says, 32-year-old mom of 7 kids. This is just getting progressively worse. 32-year-old mom of 7 kids living in Airbnb, struggling, trying to make it.
It's 9:30 in the morning. Checkout time was at 10. Me and my babies. All the stuff in the back. Y'all see that? Yeah. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna go try to do some Ubering today and try to come up with the rest of the money for another Airbnb. I want to try to at least do it by 3, so my babies could have somewhere to lay their head. I don't want to wait till too late. Then we have to be sleeping in the car, but we're not doing that. So yeah. But I guess y'all. So I will keep y'all updated about everything. If I do find another Airbnb, hopefully I do at a reasonable price, because these Airbnbs be expensive. They be expensive. But I do it for like a couple of days, y'all, like 3-4 days. Sometimes I could catch it for like 4 days for like $168. That's why I do like the 1-bedroom stuff, and me and the kids just make it work. I see it. What you didn't see a tablet, girl? But yeah. So I'm gonna keep y'all posted. If anybody want to help me, link is in the bio.
Why are you staying in Airbnbs? Airbnbs are expensive. They add on all those fees at the end. I guess she might not have a credit card though, because a lot of times for hotels, in order to book a room, they do make you have to put down a deposit as well with a credit card. So maybe that is why she has to resort to staying in the Airbnbs. I wouldn't be surprised if she's got a link in her bio. Let's just see. And people are sending her money. Yep, Cash App in the bio. Of course. But so I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening. But here's my thing again. What's the plan? And when I say plan, you know what the first thing I want? The first thing I would want, I feel like it's too late for her, but I guess we still got to try to salvage what we can salvage. Because goodness forbid she has number 8, right? She's got 7. But the first thing I want is you to verbally commit that you're done and you're not going to have any kids again, and that you understand why you don't need to have any more kids again. And you're kind of outlining it just with your life and how hard it is. But a lot of times that's not enough, and they still end up having another kid. Because imagine if we could have did that at like kid number 2, kid number 3, where it's like commit and say, I'm not going to have any more. If I do, then you all know that was my decision. So don't ever donate to me. Don't ever give me nothing. Don't ever help me out, because here it is stamped that I understand how hard this is and what this brings into my life. And ultimately, because we need to think about the kids, right? It's easy to look at the kids in totality right now. But at one point, it could have been only 3 kids, and she was struggling with 3 kids. And these were the kids that you had at the time and that you were responsible for. And every time you have another kid, you add a multiplier effect that makes it harder on the kids you already had. So if you really think about it, it's kind of like a negligence in a way to the kids you already have, because if you're struggling with the ones already in your possession, then having any more is drastically making it harder. Maybe she was able to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul and figure it out with 3 kids, and she was able to still survive and have shelter. But now she's exacerbated the situation in such a way that now, with this many kids, there's no way for her to be able to have shelter. So it's kind of like you robbed your kids that you already had of their stability by you continuing to have impulsive fun and continuing to take on more when you couldn't even handle what you had before.
I sat and cried in the car today. Because I don't know what y'all see, but I know what I see. Literally, this black woman that's just literally.
Hold on. Her caption says, as a single mom, I don't want no pity. I'm going to figure this all out by myself.
Living the life of a single mom, doing everything literally by herself. And God, I'm not gonna cry. And it just trips me out because it's not like I don't want no job. No, it's not that. It's not like I never tried to have a job. But it's like every time I'm at a job, I'm doing another job at the job. True story. I'm getting fired just because I'm helping another woman with her problems. I will put my problems down and pick somebody else's up. My heart. And then cry. Because there's not too many people like me, and I'm fine with that. I don't have no problem with it, but it's just the fact that what mothers go through and how life be playing out. I've been through so much. It's a cold piece of motherfucking work.
Oh, wow.
And I just can't believe it sometimes, like, this is where I'm at. I don't even care about a man, but I'm going to keep it going because I know it's something got to give. Because how I got here is even crazier.
Oh, we know now. We know how you got here was crazier, and we know that there's definitely a backstory to this, because look at this.
And I just can't believe it sometimes, like, this is where I'm at.
Look at face tattoos, neck tattoos, chest tattoo. Oh, you probably can't see the chest tattoo. Let me go ahead and just make sure this is all the way. Well, she got a lot of tattoos. Let me just say that. She got a lot of tattoos. It's a lot. And I feel like the tattoos could possibly tell a story, right? It gives us a story possibly about how she was living. And so I say that to say it should be no surprise when you end up in this situation when you was living wild and reckless, because to me, all those tattoos, even the way she talks and everything, it really just kind of lets me know what we're dealing with. And see, if I show you this stuff too on a profile, it'll really let you know what we're dealing with. But I'm not going to do that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But yeah. She likes to have a good time. She likes to party and possibly not prioritize what's actually important. And so this is what you get ultimately. And the self-inflicted wounds that you decided to, scribe on your body, I don't think that they necessarily do you any favors either.
Court today, y'all, and not only the things not going in my favor, but my ex-husband brung the side chick to the court date today. So our court date today was for our domestic violence situation, and I was under the impression from the attorney that he wanted permission to be able.
Hold on. I thought this was supposed to be about an eviction. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it says I'm getting evicted, guys. It's been a long fight, but unfortunately the fight is over. This does relate to an eviction. Not necessarily the type that we go over typically.
Just go into like all of this debt.
So we'll move on.
Today by 5 o'clock is the deadline for me to have my rent in. And whatever's going to happen after I make this video is just going to happen. Never feel like you didn't do enough. You did your part in my life and my journey. You helped me. You laughed at me. If you simply just watch me suffer. A lot of people seen me come out of homelessness. It's not easy to get back on your feet. Whether it's one person or an army, people that are trying, those are the people that need your help. Spoken so many times about how my insurance was cut off. I spoke about the EBT situation. The only time I get acknowledged or anyone even cares is when I have a semi-viral moment or a viral moment. Majority of the time, it's an awful moment where I was basically being discriminated. Someone tried to cost me my job, or someone just downright denied me food after going to a food pantry. 107,000 followers on here. If everybody just hit that share button, I could potentially make it on the right side of TikTok. For the ones who are able to actually help me. I've been fighting and trying to push out my videos just to help me get in a better position. Also put a dollar trend together. Thank you to all who jumped on it. But we did what we could, and that's all that counts. Today by 5 o'clock is the deadline for me to have.
So I don't know if I'm even going to post this, but today is the day of our court date.
Her caption says eviction update court date.
To get the I guess you could say we can get the oh my gosh, my mind's going the decision on what we're going to have to do next as far as our eviction. And honestly, I'm sure y'all hear the music in the background. God has given me so much peace, and He's just been with me through every part of this. And
Just give you a heads up. I'm gonna be doing my commentary in and out of this clip because she's got that music, and this may not make it to the final edit. So
it's so refreshing to go into this not worried, not afraid, not stressed. And I know that's nobody but God. It cannot be on my own behalf. And I know that for a fact because I know me. And I am a very calculated person. I like things to go a certain way. And when they don't, I stress and I worry and I try to take matters into my own hands. But when I say today has been so peaceful, and He's given me so many dreams and so much confirmation of just not to be afraid and to just trust in Him and to know that He is the judge. And so yeah, I'm just getting ready, and I wanted to just make a video to document. I don't even know if I'm going to be posting this. I just feel so incredibly grateful and so blessed to know that I'm not alone, and to know that.
well, it's good that she's grateful, and it seems like she's found some semblance of peace, and that's good. But the thing about it is too, sometimes when you're in the situation and it is what it is, and you've already had some time with it, it's kind of like the stages of grief, right? You get to that acceptance stage, and then it doesn't really phase you anymore because you fully just understood that this is what it is. Time continues to go on, and it starts to quell that a little bit more. And that could also be what she's feeling. I've done things where it was like I've made mistakes and it was horrible. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. And then just as time went on and I progressed through those stages, it was like, yeah, it's real. It really happened. Like you kind of be like, is it gonna go back? You want it to go back, but then you just realize it's not, and then you just kind of make peace with it and you just move on with your life. And that also could be what she's experiencing as well.
How I found out, my tenant has 14 people living in the unit. So before I get started,
What?
just go ahead and hit that follow button for me, please. Let's get right into this story. So I rented out the unit to this lady in November of last year. When she applied, she put that it was her and 3 kids. Cool, no problem. And she was pregnant at the time, so I expected that to be 4 plus her make 5. So fast forward last week, I get a call from the next door neighbor that the kids are banging on the wall and there are too many kids running around outside, and they're banging on her window, and they're outside at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I said, okay, no problem. I'll go ahead and I have a talk with her. So I go over there to speak with her. When she comes to the door, I hear and I see a football team and a basketball team inside of the house. So she's like, shut up, everybody, be quiet. So I'm like, you got a lot of people there. She's like, yeah, my kids. I said, your kids? She's like, yeah. I said, how many kids you have? She says she has 10 of them. You hear what I said? 10 of them. Because remember, she was pregnant. I said, you have 10 kids? She's like, yes. It's okay, cool, no problem. I said, anyway, your kids are making too much noise and it's disturbing the neighborhood. And then you have this basketball goal that's in the middle of the road that I guess the neighbors are complaining to the association. And it just so happened that the association lived directly behind.
That is crazy. Why don't we ever address this? I mean, today we've watched video of the first woman had 6 kids, the other woman had 7 kids. Now we got somebody with 10 kids, all single, by the way, possibly multiple different guys involved, by the way. Why don't we address that? Like, we'll try to act like it's insensitive. Oh, you like to see people, whatever. No, we need to bring this to light. This is not normal. We need to start talking about this because this is insane at this point. This is like you can't state it any other way than complete and utter insanity. And we just sweep it under the rug and act like we don't need to talk about it and we don't need to bring it to the light. No, it needs to be brought to the light because it's in the darkness right now. And when I think of darkness, I just think of confusion. No sense of direction. We need to bring it to the light. And we need to expose it under the lights so that we can start moving with a sense of direction moving forward, or at the very least, so that we can give some of the next generation or whoever some sense of direction so they don't think that that's normal.
That particular property. She's like, that's not hers. That's not her kids' stuff. Okay, cool, no problem. So I tell her, just try to keep your kids from banging on the walls, or try to have a little bit of courtesy for your neighbors and stuff like that. Okay. So next thing I know, I get another call that from the association that they're gonna fine the unit if we don't move that basketball goal and for all these kids, because apparently I don't know what it is with these people with 101 people living in there, but they had the dog, and the dog was chasing the next door neighbor, and they all have pit bulls. For some strange reason, these people all have freaking pit bulls. Anyway, so I contacted her again. I said, "Ma'am, you cannot have a dog." She's like, "What dog? There's no dog there." The neighbor sent me the Ring camera footage of the dog chasing her little girl. So I go over there and I
That's
said, well, you can't
crazy.
have the dog. If you have the dog, then I'm going to have to put the eviction on you because your lease clearly states that you have no pets allowed, and you also said that you had no dogs. Anyway, the dogs seem to be gone. But the problem now is that the association it wants to fine the unit because of the kids and the basketball unit. They have like one of those portable basketball goals that's in the middle of the road. She said it's not hers. So my intention was just since it's not yours and it's not the neighbors, just to go up there, take it, and throw it in the trash can.
Yeah.
But I think it might come to the point where I have to evict her, and I know that no, I mean that's not a good thing. But tell me, do you think I'm wrong if I have to evict her from there? Because I do understand that there's times are hard. I really and truly do understand that. But at the same time, not only is her and her 10 kids there, but she also has the baby father, the his father, and her mother. All of those people living in that fort too. Now, I normally don't care. I normally don't have a problem with the amount of people that's living in it, so long as you're taking care of the place and you're not destroying it. But you're becoming a nuisance where the association gets involved and they want to find me. So tell me, would I be wrong if I evict them?
No, you should have evicted him yesterday. Listen, we're calling spade a spade. You need to evict them ASAP. You have 14 people living in a home where you could just have one or two. You're not going to tell me that that's not going to severely depreciate and decay your property at a much faster rate, multiples of a rate. So that's the smart business decision to do. For one, they already do all these things that's getting you in bad with the association, right? And it's reflected on you. because it can extend much worse than fines. It's also just your reputation as well. And this is extending on your reputation. And now I'm gonna be honest too. You're probably messing up your own property value. Because let me tell you something. When other people come into that neighborhood and they're wanting to move in, and then they find out that that house has 14 people in there with 10 kids and pit bulls and basketball hoops outside, then people don't come in, or they don't buy at as high of a price because they're able to negotiate that down, which ultimately lowers the is it called ACV? Whatever. It lowers the the property values of the entire neighborhood. You all are lowering the property value down there probably because you said you have a homeowners association. So why would you, for multiple different reasons, it's clear that you need to go ahead and cut your losses. And don't be surprised. Like, you need to get them out ASAP, because every month, every day that they're in there, you just have to understand things are getting progressively worse, because I'm sure it's what, a 4-bedroom house, 5-bedroom house max, and you've got 14 people staying in there. They are they're going to run that house through the mud. And by the time you get them out of there, you are going to have a task on your hands of trying to fix back up that property and prepare it for the next people. And you're probably going to have thousands of dollars in repairs and renovations that you're going to have to do. So the sooner you can get on that, the better, in my opinion. But we'll leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button, then it shows the points. And since I am a smaller content creator, smaller channel, we get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller channels. So that's why your hypes go further. And then also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.